Yar, yar, fiddly dee. Being a pirate is alright with me. Do what you want because a pirate is free. I am a pirate.
No. Hey.
She wasn't talking to you.
I know, I thought she was talking to me for a hot
She
minute.
was talking to
I
the
thought she was
dog.
talking to me. She's like, no, no singing. Hey Misfits, it's Anthony again with another Under the Lid, and this time we're taking a look at Ahoy. Now, there are a few companies that we love, and some more than others, and I am definitely one of those proponents of people who love leader games. I'm like with them 100%. Portal, Leader, Devere, those are my babies. And don't get me wrong, there are other companies that I also absolutely love, but Leader has always had a special place for me, largely because of Root. Root, one of those games, and it's come out years and years ago, but I was early on at Dice Tower when I started going to Dice Tower, and I stumbled across the game. Some people were playing it, and I had no idea. I was like, this game looks really cool. Can you teach it to me? And they taught it to me, and it was a glorious game. I'm like, this game is so unique. I've never played anything like it. It's kind of like Risk, but each of your factions are cute animals, but they all do different things. It's asynchronous is what they call it, and every different faction has a different way to play the game. You have little guys that just sell stuff, and you have guys that fight, and you guys that don't fight, and all that stuff. And I thought that was a super cool concept because it isn't just the same of, okay, I buy armies and I attack. Just entirely different ways. And Leader Games came out with essentially what I would call Root Light, and we're going to unbox that today. And I can't wait to play this game. Thanks again, as always, to Leader Games. You guys are awesome. Appreciate getting a copy of this because I was stoked to play Ahoy. It's doing very well right now, and it's a very popular game, and it's a perfect game where that's a good intro to something like Root. You can play this game and it has all the similar qualities, but wraps it in a different package. It wraps it in a seafaring package, adds a lot of different mechanics that are new, but at the heart and the core of it is a game that is called Root. So if you don't know Root, check it out, look it up. It is an awesome game, but it is not a lightweight game, I'd say. It takes a little bit of work. Ahoy would be your better way to go if you're kind of newer to those kind of games. If not, if you're looking for a great asynchronous, unique game, Leader Games. And as always, the art is always stunning with these guys. They employ the same artist every time. I met him at PAX U. Very cool guy.
Oh yeah, his art.
His art is on point. It's good. There's no reason to ever. They don't need to ever switch it. Also, they moved in the RPG sphere. Actually, on top of that, they're doing RPG books now as well. So this is the role play for the role play. This is the rule book for Ahoy. And going through it, I looked and I immediately saw its roots with Root. You play one of 4 different factions, and 2 of the factions are area controlled, but they have different ways of doing it. The Bluefin Squadron and I think the Mollusk Squadron is the other one, Mollusk Union. And then you have 2 smugglers, which are kind of like the Vagabonds and Root. So basically, 2 are area control. They want to control the area, and they have different ways to do it. They have different ships and different things and different rules. But the Vagabonds, well, like the Vagabonds, these are the smugglers in this, but like the Vagabonds and Root, they are their own thing, and they do their own game. They basically go around and they blockade people and they sell stuff to the different factions and things like that, and basically they make their own way, and they don't care about area control or anything like that. They're basically just trying to sell people stuff and play the other factions against each other. So like say Tom and me are playing with Misfit Dawn and Amanda, and me and him are going around going, hey, here, buy this cannon, this is cheap. But you're going to the other person, like, hey, buy this is going to help you fight that lady's cannon, by buying better boards for your ship. And guess what? I win the game because I've been selling you guys stuff this entire time. That's kind of how it works. You have your tokens here for damage and gold, which are super cool. I love the art, like as always. We have already mentioned that a million times. And then you have your different boards. I love how they do their boards always. They always have these indented boards. And so you have the Mollusk Union, you have the different smugglers, and each one has these areas for where you put your dice. And if you notice, the dice boards are different. The smugglers are the same because they do negotiating and things like that, because they're kind of similar. I don't even know if they're any different. I think there's just different versions of them, it looks like. And then these 2 are entirely different. So these are the more warlike people. So they have, and what you do is you roll dice during the game and place them in the different sections over here to do different things. But if you notice, there's different stuff that they can do. So like the mollusks have less cannons than the other one, and they don't bombard, but they inspire and rally and do stuff. So each one plays a little bit different. And you can see, of course, the art signifies that, and then the different spots on the board. A little bendy. I might have to play with these a bit. So the cool thing about it is you're going to be sailing around in ocean blue. right? That's a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sailing around ocean blue. And the cool thing about it is they use random tiles. So you're going to be flipping these tiles up as you travel. And when I'll pull the wooden meeples out later, but as you travel around, you're going to be uncovering tiles as you go. So basically, you'll be pulling tiles off a stack as you travel, flipping it over and orientating it how you like. And on different tiles, there are different things. You're going to get treasure and exploring islands and things like that, in addition to doing your normal stuff and fighting with the other factions. So you're going to be building a board basically as you go that everybody's going to be traveling on. Other people will be building this board as they go as well. So you're going to be quickly building out this whole island map. And it looks really, really good. I'm not sure, I'll be honest, I'm not sure what the indent is for, what you're putting in the middle there. I'll have to look. Maybe a dice. So, and you have your fame board here. This is how you win the game. Because, and like with Root, you don't win just by doing one thing or taking over the areas. It's not risk necessarily, or you just conquer the world. You win just by fame. And fame could be had by winning areas, but it can also be had by becoming the most famous smuggler or famous pirate.
Dread Pirate Roberts.
Dread Pirate Roberts. Yeah, he won, even though, like, you know, he wasn't the fleet. He didn't own the ocean, but he was the baddest Dread Pirate ever. Right? Plus, you know, he won Princess Buttercup's heart. Surely, Wesley, I shall kill you in the morning. Now we're going to get to Meeples. The real heart of all these games, right? No, I missed. All right. So, oh no, Meeples. I dread this. Sometimes the wooden Meeples, like they, okay. Yeah, some of the paint came off. So like somehow, you know, they paint them and then the paint gets stuck together. I have to pull them apart. Not the end of the world, but yeah, I always dread those. So the blue fins have their little shark boats, I guess, shark fins. And then the other ones actually have real-time boats here, like real-time, is that a word? Real honest to goodness boats here going on. Whereas the shark fins, I think this is a shark fin boat. Maybe that's a base. Oh, yeah, I think the shark fins set up bases. That's the difference. So one faction, it just has boats, but the shark fins can set up like little bases and stuff on the islands, which is similar to like, I think maybe the cats in Root, whereas these are kind of like the eagles. And so you have awesome looking wooden meeples here. You got your big cutters. Or is cutters the big boats? I don't know anything about boats, I'll be honest.
They're big boats.
Big boats. And then you have your smaller ships. And you go, your sloops. Oh, look, has a little crab claw in the front of it. Like, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks good. So you go around. These are actually probably, the smuggler boats. So these are probably the two smuggler boats. These are the mollusks probably, and these are probably the warlike guys. What is it? The blue fins. The blue fins are the warlike ones. So they have like a ton more going on. These are going to be mollusks. Are probably set up bases and things on different areas. Then you got your dice. Oh, these are pretty. I like them already. Look, you got your blue sparkly dice. You got your, and they're different, even different kinds of type of dice. Like those are clear and sparkly. These have like wavy opacities to them. See? Nice, dude?
Oh, they are nice.
I will say there are different sizes as well, apparently. So the blue ones are actually smaller than the rest. These are probably the dice that go in the middle, so they probably represent like something like ocean dice, I guess. So these obviously go in the middle. And these dice belong to the factions themselves. So these are ocean dice. I bet money already. And then these belong to the faction themselves. So each faction, they're coded by faction here. So there you go. Ta-da! Now I know for the game, when you play the game here, I wonder why white has less. So well, it's four for each of this. Oh, it's 4 for each of the smugglers. The other guys, the blue fins, get more. So what happens is, during the game, you roll the dice, and how you do actions and set up what you do during the game is you put the dice on the little indentations on the board. So you basically roll the dice in, and it kind of limits what actions you can take. You need to load your cannons to get in fights. Bombard, you can remove all comrades from the island in your flagship's region, so you can basically blow people up, stuff like that. And then you can repair, of course. Now when you take damage, I know you take these counters and dump them into the little areas here, which limits how many actions you can do. Like, you know, if you put a couple in sailing, you're not going to sail as far and stuff like that. So there is, because your boat's damaged,
that
yeah.
makes a whole lot of sense.
It doesn't, yeah. They use a similar thing in Zaya. If you haven't played Zaya, where if you take damage, you cover up slots in your board, so you can't put upgrades in there if it's all banged up. So same thing on here. You'll get these things that'll fill up the slots, and then guess what? You can't do that action anymore. So you have to use the repair eventually to kind of remove 2 damage from those different slots. So there's a rolling mechanic, which wasn't a thing in Root, and I'm always wary of rolling mechanics, but I have all faith in Leader that there's ways to mitigate it and do things with it, because, so anybody knows, dice is not my thing, but like I said, I have absolute faith that that'll be just fine. Like, I'm sure there's ways you're going to be able to mitigate it and do things with it. You have other little cubes. I'm not honestly sure what you do with these cubes. Probably for the smuggler, since there's 2 different colors, but I'll be honest, I'll have to look because I'm not positive. So, it'll go right there. They probably go in the different regions, if I'm going to make an educated guess. And then, not only that, but you not only have your quick cards, but you can also hire crewmates. So not only do you have your kind of set way to do your boat, but you can hire crewmates. And of course, you get in boat battles and everything, you load it up. And they even have, the great thing about Leader Games and what they do that's really awesome is they put all of their rules for their factions to make things even better on the boards themselves. So like, because each one has different abilities, and maybe you didn't play that one very much, and so you're not familiar with stuff. So they always have on their boards like different things you can do, and how you do when you, like, for example, when you have a battle victory, you get to choose one of these things. So you're not always you don't even need a quick card. You can reference it all on the board. Same with all of their games, Fort, Root, Oath, all of those, all great games, by the way. Give these guys
all 1-word names.
All 1-word names. Make it even simple. You can always remember the game names. You're not wrong. Yeah, Root, Ahoy, yeah, Oath. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's a smart way to do it if you think about it, though. You're generally always gonna remember the name of the game. It's not too complex. Yeah, sometimes people pick naming conventions, and even though they're simple, but especially if there's a glut of stuff out, probably like Planet Unknown, great game, but it's like how many Planet games came out at the same time? Like Search for Planet X. Planet this.
I literally bought the wrong game because I thought it was the other game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you kind of like, you got to be careful when naming your games sometimes, because you can easily get it confused, or whatever. So you can't be too generic, but sometimes just 1-word generic stuff. Like, how many other games are named Root? None. You're gonna always remember Root. So it's kind of a clever way to do it. So these are cards that tell you they're quick cards. It looks like for different factions. You have, like these are the cards for the yellow faction, for the Mollusk Union. So each faction has their own way to play, and they have cards representing all of that. And then this one are different crew. These are basically different crew members you can get as you go along. And I think some of these are upgrades as well. Yeah, so like these, you deliver this to get this crewmate and whatnot. So and it's all the same art and everything. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, their art is on point.
Yeah, look at this guy. He's got an oyster for a head. It's like, how many? What? I just love it. So it's always on point with these games. It's just awesome. So, yeah, guys, that's actually on the box. Of course, they give you extra baggies and everything, but this game looks awesome, and I'm dying to play it just because Root is difficult to get to the table sometimes, because some people it's just complex and some people have trouble with it. But this looks like a game that is a not necessarily even a watered down version of Root, just a different version of Root that kind of makes it a little simpler to play, but also retains all the things that make Root great, and adds an awesome nautical theme to it, a little bit of dice randomness, and it just looks amazing, guys. It just looks great. Are you excited to play this?
I'm excited.
Be honest. You excited? You gonna give this a shot? Yar. Yeah, this is a game I could definitely bring to the table, and everybody can have a good time with it, and maybe eventually graduate them into Root, which is, again, honestly probably one of my top 10 games. Enough about that, guys. Thanks again for watching our Under the Lid. Pay attention, we're going to be playing some games of this, I'm sure. As always, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us some notes. I'd like to hear about your thoughts if you played Root, or if you played any other Leader games, maybe what your favorite Leader games game is. That would be super awesome. Anyway, guys, of course, as always, join us here, and don't forget to, Ahoy on? Nah, that's kind of lame. I don't know. Just R.